The Gulf of Tonkin incident never happened. Well, 58,000 of my generation died over something that was a lie.
And I didn't touch that. That's not where I was going.
This one's a lie, too.
Come on. Well, that exchange took place after my interview with Jesse Ventura. That was just a preview. Now, here's the entire interview with the shy guy, the retiring former wrestler, former governor, actor, and television host, Mr. Jesse the Body Ventura. Governor, thanks for joining us. Governor, actor, you've done a lot of things.
Yeah.
Navy SEAL, I guess, is that right?
Yeah.
But right now you're investigating conspiracy. We do a show about conspiracy. We do a show about corruption. And you're doing a show about the similar things, but you want to touch on water. What's going on with water? Why should we worry about it?
We should have a great worry about it because water, as the Native American chief that turned me on to this and my show said to me, he looked me in the eye and he said, Governor, remember this. As strange as it may seem, we can live without oil. We cannot live without water. And what's happening is many people like to see the private sector take over our government. Well, in 64 water districts now, corporations have been turned over to take care of your water. Well, the minute a corporation takes something over, it becomes a for-profit business, a bottom-line business. I don't necessarily believe water survival should be that. And what's happening in that Lake Mead out in Las Vegas, it's down 125 feet. Within the decade, Las Vegas is going to have no water because it's going to go below their piping system.
Right, but what's the conspiracy there? I mean, that's just use, right?
Well, the conspiracy that takes you up to Wisconsin or to Michigan to where it is illegal to take water from the Great Lakes. Well, the great Nestle Corporation, which is your largest food conglomerate of the world, found a way around it. You grease the local politicians, you buy a small plot of land on a tributary into the Great Lakes, and you sink a well that will pump 400,000 gallons a day out. They have a place up there that's 3 times the size of the Metrodome in Minnesota, nearly 1 million square feet. And they sell water to you and I, what they get out of the ground for free. Right. It costs them nothing. And this water, 50% of the bottled water comes right out of the tap. It's a big fraud. And they're simply bottling water up that you and I should be able to drink and selling it to us at a price that's higher than a gallon of gas.
I'll up that one more. The Chinese are drilling for our oil through Cuba, off the Cuban coast, and guess how close Cuba is to the United States? 90 miles. They're actually accessing some of our oil through Cuba. That could be another show for you.
Well, a good thing on that, the original Iraq War, the Gulf War, when, Iraq invaded Kuwait.
They lined the troops on the Kuwaiti border, right?
Yeah, well, the reason they invaded is because we were angle drilling. We were drilling down underneath Iraqi land, stealing their oil.
that sounds like
so I guess one good term deserves another. We've done it.
Let's talk about another one of your conspiracy theories. JFK, you say there's something behind that. You know something no one else knows.
Well, we will, on our show, people, if they watch it, will see for the first time ever, visually, audibly, and written, a confession to the murder of John Kennedy. We have it.
Now you want to let us know, give us a hint? Is it everyone who we think it was?
It's a prominent person who confessed on his deathbed to his son and made his son promise to go public with it. Well, the son's been attempting to for 2 years, but of course mainstream media ignores him. So we've got it first. I'm glad. I want to thank mainstream media because while they're worried about the death of Anna Nicole Smith, when they're worried about whether pro athletes are cheating on their wives, or when they're worried about all these other things, these topics, whether they build a mosque in New York, which constitutionally says they can, end of story, they leave it wide open for my employment. Me and my crew.
You brought that up. You and I agree on a lot of these things, Governor. A lot of the things that you've been saying right now, I completely agree with you. With the mosque, I don't agree. Constitutionally, I agree they do have a right to. I just think they should move it away because of what happened at 9/11. There were 3,000 Americans who died at 9/11.
That's right.
And it bothers me. And it bothers me that they want to put a mosque 500 feet from that great
But it don't bother you that there's strippers there.
Who really killed them? Radical Muslims flew planes into the World Trade Center, and 3,000 people died. So don't go there. Move that mosque a few blocks away.
No. The point is that mosque, if it was a Catholic church, no one would care. The fact is, it's already been there and operating for years.
As far as I know,
cannot wait.
Catholic priests didn't fly planes into the World Trade Center.
No, but they molest children.
Well,
wait a minute now.
Wait a minute now. A Catholic child care center next to a playground.
What you want to do, you want to hold the Constitution to a popularity contest. The Constitution is there to protect unpopular things. Popular things like speech don't need protection. Unpopular does. If you subject the Constitution to a thing like that,
is there any question that 19 radical Muslims hijacked airplanes in America, flew them into 4 locations throughout 2 World Trade Center buildings, tried to get one into the White House and buried one into the Pentagon?
I have great question on it.
How can you say that, sir?
Easy.
How can you go there?
How can I go there? Hold on.
I lost friends in the World Trade Center. I watched one of the airplanes fly into the World Trade Center.
You tell me that's a building collapsing or a building exploding?
It's a building collapsing. I watched
That's a building exploding.
I watched the plane fly into the building. I watched it burn, and I watched it collapse from within.
It didn't collapse. It exploded.
So you're going to try and tell, what are you trying to say here?
I'm trying to say that there's way more to 9/11 than what mainstream media and our government has told us.
How much actual the airplane fly into the tower?
I saw it too.
And you're telling me that didn't happen?
No, I'm telling you
it happened. Are you telling me my government sanctioned this?
I'm telling you that all the wars, if you go back to World War II, when the Japanese said the Chinese attacked them on the mainland, that was fraudulent. Vietnam, they've now admitted the Gulf of Tonkin incident never happened, right? 58,000
Let's get to the World Trade Center.
58,000 of my generation were killed over an incident that didn't happen. It's known history, the Ruckstag fire of Germany.
What are you suggesting happened on September 11th, 2001?
Governments do things to get us into wars. I'm saying 9/11 was to get us into Iraq and get us into Afghanistan.
We did it. We planned it. The United States planned for the hijacking of American planes to fly into the World Trade Center? I was there. I was there. I worked in the building. I know a lot about it. Here's what I did do, sir. Here's what I did do. I comforted friends, wives, and children after they died. I raised money for firemen who died in the World Trade Center.
But the point is,
I saw an airplane fly into the World Trade Center. I saw it with my own eyes. Now you're going to tell me. Now you're going to tell me that someone in Washington decided that this would be a good idea to get into a war, so that what? So that we can have oil from Iraq? Is that what this is all about?
Yeah, and so that we can have lithium from Afghanistan. A month ago, they quoted, amazing. We just discovered a vein of lithium could be worth $1 trillion. What do we use lithium for? Every cell phone, every computer, and every soon-to-be electric car. You're going to tell me they didn't know the lithium was in Afghanistan?
They may or may not have known it was there.
Was a Marine on patrol and tripped over it?
I'm going to tell you, I think it would have been cheaper to buy the lithium than to be in a war for 10 years.
No, it's not. We always go to war to get
things. We've spent more than $1 trillion on wars. I think it would have been cheaper just to buy the darn lithium.
Remember that any country in the world that denies corporations becomes our enemy. Remember that. Take Cuba and China. We love China because China welcomes our corporations. They're communist. Cuba's communist. We hate them because they don't accept our corporations. Remember, that's who our military fights for.
Do me a favor. When and where can we find the show?
It'll be Friday night, starts tomorrow night. The first one's just down the road, Plum Island.
And I'm going to catch you sound water, right, sir?
True TV, 10 o'clock at night.
Great to have you. You join us again.
You know what? We can shake hands, we can differ, and we'll battle. But remember, study it first.
And
study it. No, you haven't.
Don't give me that. I'll take that. I'll take the handshake. You don't tell me I don't know about 9/11. That's one thing.
You haven't studied.
All right, sir. Listen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.